This weekend, the cyclocross season comes to an end with the final rounds of the Super Prestige and the X3O Trophy in Gavere and Brussels. And I thought I'd see out the close of the season in a positive light and take a look back at some of the things over the past months that just made me smile. The moments that made all those hours watching the racing worth it. So let me take you through the entire season through the medium of happy memories. And let's start with something recent. The Worlds were just 2 weeks back, and they were probably one of the fondest memories of this entire season. There was a genuine sense of scale and party to the Worlds. I don't know if it's because we missed out on crowds last year, or something felt special about the Worlds this year. Fayetteville feels like a place with genuine, real potential, somewhere for American Cross to call home. The whole weekend just felt like this one long party from good moment to good moment. It's a target for every future Worlds to aim for. And of those Worlds, the happiest moment has almost certainly got to be when Marianne Vos sealed her 8th world title. The boss was already the greatest female cyclist of all time, but the way she dispatched of Lucinda Brandt so similarly to how she beat Hanka Kuffenagel 16 years ago when she took her first world title were some of the most incredible scenes I've watched of any cross ever. And it just proved once more that Marianne Vos is utterly timeless. She's the eternal winner of women's cycling as a whole. It's up to 13 world titles, and I wouldn't be surprised if she had more too. And whilst Vos did her typical eternal victory stuff, around her, this new generation is exploding into life. Blanca Vas showed her continued improvement to take a first World Cup podium in Iowa alongside Vos. It would take 2 weeks for Vas to build on that, with a World Cup victory in Overijse, being amongst the youngest ever to achieve a win like this. And it wasn't just Vas. Second in Overijse was the even younger Puk Pieterse. It was the first of 6 World Cup podiums Pieterse would claim this year, rounding it off with the Under-23 world title. Shirin van Anrooy would take silver at the Under-23 Worlds, taking numerous other podiums and even winning in Gullegem. The final piece of the Dutch puzzle may well be the best one too. Fem van Empel came into the season as the defending Under-23 world champion, and came out of it with 2 World Cup victories, including that crazy race in Val d'Isole. And then you still have Lien Burquet and her ridiculous performances in Zonhoven and Overijse, and Zoe Beckstedt with her ridiculous win in the elites in Essen. And that's just the women. Pim Ronhaar's podium in Besançon didn't get anywhere near the attention it deserves. At 20 years old, that is a ridiculous performance. In a similar vein, Ryan Kamp, Toon van der Bos and Neil van der Putten have all raced amongst the elites. And then what about Joran Wiesure? Beating Quinten Hermans to second in Gullegem, then beating everyone to win at the Worlds. The youth is coming. They're coming fast. One of the best performances of any youngster this season was the aforementioned ride in Val d'Isole by Fem van Empel. Val d'Isole as a whole was incredible, a potential first step to elevating cross to hopefully Olympic heights. The snow, the sliding, the scenery, the racing. What was there not to like? Even the podiums, especially the women's one, were almost like a fan fiction or something. You know, Magali Rochette proving once again that she's a master on the ice, and then Vos and Van Empel. I mean, surely that's the tensest finale of the season. Vos's ride was crazy, was insane, but the composure from Van Empel to hold off Marianne Vos of all people and win anyway, with that drama at the end, was incredible. Racing like this and racing on snow, we need more of it. We need this every year. Another thing I'd love to see every year is what happened in the X3O Trophy this year. The X3O Trophy organised official junior races for men's and women's categories, extensively promoting both too, giving us a genuine real insight into the upcoming talent and giving said talent the ability to really battle against their age group. Due to COVID, there's been barely any under-23 racing at all in recent years, but seeing the X2O really step it up this year has been frankly brilliant and is one of my favourite things of this entire season. And we'll stick with the Koppenberg because that under 23 race means that the entire Koppenberg makes my list as well. My relationship with the Koppenberg is contentious to say the least. I far prefer the older layout, but nonetheless this year gave us some brilliant racing. Whilst the men's race was a pretty standard demolition job by Iserbyt, the under 23 battle between Ronhaar and Mason was brilliant. But really I'm including this entirely because of the fact I don't think anything has caught me off guard quite as much as Clara Honsinger dropping everybody every lap on the Koppenberg. It was a masterful ride on an iconic circuit that allowed Honsinger to be the first person to take one of these cobbles outside of Europe. Maybe in the spring she can win Roubaix and unite the French and Belgian cobbles together for the first time. Now, in most years, Lars van der Haar would probably finish at the very top of this list. What can I say? I absolutely love the man. He was the first rider I clicked with as a kid when I started watching, and to see him come back from the wilderness to win a European title was one of the wildest moments of the season. The fact he then went and broke a 5-year duck the next week to win in Tabor was just the cherry on top. Add a national title and a world silver to that, and my what a season. The Jack Russell is back, and he's back to stay, I hope. And as much as I love Van der Haar, there was one rider who just about undid him this year. To me, this season will in some ways always be the season of Magali Rochette. I came into this season watching her talk about this season's goals being the world title, and I sat there thinking, she's crazy. But throughout the season she just grew, and by Fayetteville I was a believer. I was convinced. I thought, you know what, if things go away a little bit, it could just happen. And when it didn't, I was genuinely a little heartbroken, because Rochette is such a joyous rider. From the constant devil horns to the crazy interviews to that picture at the Gulligen podium. With those podiums in Besançon and Val d'Isole, it feels like Rochette made landfall this season, and I loved every single second of it. Cross, and any sport in fact, lives and dies on its personalities, on the people in it, and Magali Rochette is the biggest personality Cross has had in years. She's the type of person that you want within your sport and that you want to see succeed. So to see that success finally start to come, it feels like it's just right, like it's earned, because it is earned. So roll on 2022-23. I can only hope we get more snow, crowds, youngsters, and of course, more Magali Rochette. See you all next season.